See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYT Podcast. My name is Taisha Hines, and this is my show where I'll explore the ins and outs of the world around me. You can tune in every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Welcome back to DBYT. I am your host, Taisha. If this is your first time listening to my podcast, I hope you enjoy and subscribe for weekly content. And if you're a returning supporter, I'm glad that you came back for more. Today, we'll be speaking on body image. So with that being said, let's get into it. Welcome back to the segment I like to call let me ask you something. So, Nani, what are 3 things that you like about yourself?
I like how caring I am. Because me personally, I didn't used to be that caring with people. And I feel like being able to open up more and understand what people are going through can help me better understand myself in a way. I don't know. I kind of like my personality. Oh, I like that I'm kind of talented in a lot of different things. I'm kind of good at photography and the piano and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which I didn't know that I had. I didn't know I had the ability to be that, diverse, I guess.
I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the biggest things is probably my height, based off of the attention it gets. Number 2 is probably gonna be my size. You know what I'm saying? Not too big, not too small.
Right.
Number 3, are we talking about looks or personality?
Whichever.
Okay. I like that I'm funny without trying.
So funny by nature. Okay. So was it difficult for you to name those things?
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself to be a person who has a positive or a negative perspective about your body?
I guess it depends on the day, really. Because sometimes I'll wake up ooh, I feel good about myself. Other days I'm oh my God, I look like shit. Oh yeah, society definitely plays a part in that. And I feel like my family, they play a part in that. My mom, she'll say stuff oh, you're so skinny, you're so lanky, da 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 da. But it's once I start gaining that weight back, she'll be oh my God, you're getting a little fat or you're a little thick or whatever, stuff like that.
That's a good question. I would say it's gonna be one of them difficult people, but I'm gonna have to say it's literally in the middle.
In the middle?
It's because it's just me, and then sometimes I take in people's opinions, and that don't sit well in my stomach, so I throw that up. But I must just say, mostly because I look at what I think and then what other people think.
Okay.
Even though I don't like doing that, but that's just what.
Yeah. I go through the same things with my family, my outside family more so. They're never really satisfied. It's kind of sad. But have you ever been obsessed with your body image?
Yes. When I was younger, 8th, 9th grade. Yeah. When I cheered.
What was the reason you cared so much about it?
I didn't care. It was almost like everybody else cared. And so it was oh, you're supposed to care because everybody else, so coaches or maybe boys, they did, because I was fine.
All right.
But yeah.
You have to please yourself, not everybody else. I feel if you're obsessed about it, it's because somebody else made you feel a certain way about your body. So you wanted to change it. So now you're not doing it for yourself anymore. You're doing it for them.
What makes you feel bad about your body?
Dang, that's a good question. I'm gonna go with I'm not as muscular as I want to be. I feel skinny even though I'm not. I feel skinny.
So it's more of an internal battle?
Pretty much, yeah. A lot of people tell me they see me gaining weight, my arms getting bigger, but I don't feel like it is.
Has anyone in your family or friend group ever criticized you about your physique?
Yes. At some point, it was all the time.
Has that affected your state of mind in any way?
It did at the time, and then when I stopped caring, I started gaining weight. And I'm telling you, most of the problems was because I was skinny. That's all it was. But now the people are telling me, oh, you gaining a lot of weight, you know what I'm saying? And then my mom and them are saying it, and then I think they're trying to tell me I need to slow down. But I'm still skinny. Like I haven't really done anything. I'm just not as skinny as before.
So how would you say that you
people
dealt with people criticizing you about it?
I just stopped trying to like carve myself into what other people think, because it's not gonna happen.
Okay. If you could have the body of any celebrity, whose body would you have and why?
I'm gonna have to say Michael B. Only because, hey, I gotta elaborate on this because niggas gonna be like, what? Because the girl I'm talking to now, right? She does not like that ripped, just extreme. You know, you can see their veins. They got muscles on their muscles. Their eyeballs got muscles, as SpongeBob said. You know, and she says she likes the way I am now, but I still want to do more with my body. So just to keep it in a mixture, I would say Michael B, because he's not too ripped, but he's toned. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. Why do you believe that people always want something that they don't have?
I think it's the pressure maybe from others. So like, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of people feel that way. So like I said earlier, like I thought I was fine until somebody said something. So I think everybody may be fine with what they have until like they see like people going to change themselves, and then they look at themselves like, and so it just looks like it's normal. So yeah, so I guess it's becoming the norm, and people like to be a part of the norm, be average or not too I don't know,
like a trend, like they ride the trend of I don't have this, so I want to go and get that. And I find it kind of odd how like when we're children, like I would say elementary school, we don't really care about that stuff. But then as we grow up, we see all these different people and how they are and like the treatment that they get. Exactly. And you don't think it has like an impact on you until you like sit down and think like, why do I want this? And how did I get this way type thing?
Exactly.
As far as like clothing, like what makes me
like when you, I don't know if you care about other people or what they think about you, but I mean most people kind of do, even if they don't like to admit it. But
like they show you the nicer, finer things in life, and you're just like, oh, I wish I had that.
There's been times like maybe within like a friend group where we envy each other. Like some of my friends, they'll be like, they'll have like a butt, or they'll be like, man, I wish I had your chest or something. Cause it's like, we all lack something. And it's like, it's weird. Cause it's like, we'll be like, you don't want this issue. But then again, it's like, you never experienced it. So it's like, I guess you have a natural like curiosity towards what you don't have, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
When do you feel most comfortable in your skin?
Well, I'll probably say like on my birthday. I don't know, because it's like when you wake up on your birthday, you just feel different. Like you can feel like you're glowing, like it's your day, like you're the shit. Like
so you physically feel like a glow up on your birthday. Some people aren't as confident with their body, so having a poor body image, like, do you think it could lead to like any serious issues with people?
Oh yeah, I feel like that could lead to like anorexia and bulimia, depression, a whole lot of mental illnesses, mental health issues that could play a part.
I feel like it could go to the extremes because, you know, in this day and age, everybody cares about what everybody else thinks. So I'm not even going to lie. I feel like it could get to the point of like, just like, oh, I want to be like this person so bad. I know for some, I don't know where this came from, but a lot of girls that I've talked to or been friends with, they think that guys want this super skinny model type girl. So they starve themselves. And obviously humans need to eat. So that can cause problems along the way. You know what I'm saying? It could be things from extremists to that, or to where it's like, I don't want to say like suicide or anything, because you know how it is nowadays. Like people just like
could get that serious.
Yeah, it could get to that point.
I know when I was younger, I used to like restrict eating or like do like other things to like lose weight, be dangerous. And I guess when you're older, maybe when you have more access to things and you're able to buy, like when I was younger, like I would get laxatives, and I guess like being older and having money, I'm able to go out and buy that. Like when I was younger, I could only do stuff like in the house, but I feel like when you're older, it's more advanced. And I think that's when it can be even more dangerous.
Especially for young women and how they see everybody wanting to be a certain type. They can go to the extremes of altering their bodies in a number of ways, and that it could be dangerous for them, honestly. Do you consider yourself a role model for those that you hang around with?
In some aspects, not in others. It will be more so the well-roundedness that I have, aspect of my life that I have, like being able to do a lot of different things, be good at a lot of different things. Like I know a lot of people who envy that in a way because they're not really aware of the other habits or hobbies that they could be good at because they've never tried it before.
How do you present yourself around your friend group?
I'm pretty chill in my friend group, I guess. I'm pretty chill and quiet, I guess. When nobody else is around, I feel like I'm like extra goofy for like no reason. Well, I guess it depends on who I'm around.
Okay.
Because like some people I can be goofy with, others I just feel like if I be with them or just look at me weird, so it makes me not want to show that side of myself.
I try to be I don't know about a role model. I think me and my friends, my closer friends, we all have similar values. And the similar values and beliefs, and so that makes it, I guess, easier to, like, we're on the same kind of.
Okay.
So I think we all look up to each other in different ways.
I don't consider it, but I see it only because I don't really like talking about myself because I don't like the way it sounds. You know what I'm saying? Most people who do that, and I'm not saying they're vain, it's just I don't like the feeling of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that I hate saying that. I'm a natural leader.
I feel that.
Whether I want to or not, it ends up being like that, and I fit the role perfectly. It's just sometimes I don't even want to. You know what I'm saying?
With you saying that it made me think a little bit. Like, I just feel like everybody has their issues, and it is good to, cage them in, because naturally growing up, I felt like I was a natural leader, like with my friend groups or my organizations or whatever. But deep down, I still have my own issues, and I choose to deal with them by myself.
Yeah. Because, like, you don't want to let people see sweat almost.
Yeah, because I kind of felt like I was that friend who had to make sure that all my friends were okay, like be there for them when they had issues. Like, and my friends had a lot of issues growing up, and I always had to be the one to give advice and be there for them, So sometimes being a leader, it does get a little stressful. Just saying.
Yeah. No, you're right.
How do you present yourself around your friends?
Around my friends, I used to be fake. I used to be, and I'm gonna be serious. When I was, junior high, I'm not even gonna lie, probably high school. It wasn't until I left the high school I was at that I really grew up when it came to a lot of things. So I used to try to act hard, and it was mostly because I'm a vegetarian, and the stigma with Black people. You're not Black if you don't eat chicken.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought being Black was to color your skin. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, it went with a lot of that. I was educated. My speech is different than they expect of a Black man, of a Black person. So people would tell me, "Oh, you a white Black person."
Oh, like an inside.
Oh, you a white
Oreo
this, you a white that. Yeah, exactly. You're not what we think you're supposed to be. So I would try to act like that. I would try and talk ghetto, because I was starting to do what they thought, of us Black people, what we were supposed to be doing. At some point in like third grade, I tried to sag. One dude told me, "You Black, you supposed to be sagging." Pull my pants down. Then I quickly pulled them back up.
So how do you feel about your body in its current state?
I do kind of feel a little lanky, but I'm like kind of okay with it in a way.
I'm okay right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm okay right now, but eventually, there's a couple things that I want to do with it. I'm trying to get my chest to be a little bit more manly. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my arms to be a little bit bigger. As far as my belly and down, my legs. I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but my legs are already muscular and like meaty. This is a weird conversation. But like, yeah. So I feel good about my legs and all that kind of stuff. I just want my arms to be bigger and my chest to be more formed. So, like I said, the girl I'm talking to, she's very happy with what I have right now. I just this is for me, I want to do a little something.
And that's
extra.
okay. I mean, I feel like doing something for yourself, self-care is the best. Self-love is the best. I mean, I feel like you should be satisfied with yourself. Even if the people around you are like, oh, it's okay. It's like, when you look at yourself in the mirror, how do you feel,
Exactly. It's not about anybody else at the end of the day. Now, I'm not going to lie. It does feel good to have her be okay with the way I am now. You know what I'm saying? That's way different than what I'm used to. But that's a different topic
Right.
for a different time. Have me on that show, and I'll have that whole 30 minutes. But yeah, I feel like it's good to have her be okay with the way I am. But as like you said, for me, I would like to do a couple of things. Get to a certain spot with myself.
If your body could talk, what would it say?
Maybe good job, because like I'm working on it. I'm working on a lot. So maybe just good job. Keep up the good work.
Okay. Growing up, what messages, either nonverbal or verbal, did you receive about your body and appearance?
Maybe like the only thing I can think of is like cheer. So like when I got on the cheer team for high school, because I feel like in middle school they didn't really care that much, but when I got to high school, like the coaches just seemed a little bit more like
serious,
maybe a little more strict. So like if we had a fitting at the beginning of the summer, but I couldn't fit the uniform, or like it was a little tighter at the end of the summer, they'll like make a face like it's tighter. Like they wouldn't say like you need to do something about that, but they'll be like this tight,
right?
Or like something like that. Or, are you sure you need to be doing that? I see y'all eating a lot of this, but like honestly, some of that could be helpful, but some of it, if it's taken the wrong way, can be a little I guess maybe seen as negative. But I guess it just depends on how you get.
I mean, I feel like communication barriers could be there depending on who you are, and I feel like it's up to the coaches to communicate that like effectively, efficiently, whatever, to make sure that the girls understand like, hey, I understand like you're on summer break, but try to follow a plan or exercise a little more, and try to like don't crush these girls' spirits, but at least let them know what they could do.
Like you said, like a plan, or like things to do in a healthy way. Because just saying, like don't do that, or like why is this fitting like that? That doesn't really help. Like this is supposed to help. So yeah.
Like in high school, I would run hurdles, and my coach, she wouldn't really try to help me better myself. It would be like, oh girl, you're getting fat, like why don't you lose weight? Like she would like literally say the words like, you're fat, you need to lose weight. And I'm like, well, maybe if you help me, maybe I can reach, you know what I'm saying? Don't just suggest anything, but don't give me a plan. But Act on how you feel about yourself now.
Well, I've gotten a lot of negatives in my body, just because my mother, again, I don't know why, she's like the biggest one to criticize the body in our family, so there's no pleasing her. Either you're skinny and she'll be like, oh, you're too skinny, or you're fat, oh, you're too fat. Like there's no in between. Well, I was a lot skinnier when I was younger, but more so in like my late teen years, I did gain a lot of weight. But it's like once I hit like my 20s, I went back down to like my younger kid weight.
Do you believe that body image could lead to more serious conditions if not approached the right way?
Yeah, it can. Like I mentioned earlier, with the way maybe you take certain criticisms, like, you know, maybe your coach really just wanted you to eat more vegetables, but now you're thinking like, oh, I gotta do this, that, and the third, so I can lose weight. And so I think that's where communication comes in. And then a miscommunication or like miseducation can be like when you're younger and you're just doing stuff to where you think like this is how you lose weight, or this is what I've seen, or like something like that. And like I know like from doctors and stuff, like just taking certain things like laxatives, if you're taking them inappropriately, that can harm your colon, you know. And
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. That can harm your colon. So that's basically why I had to like stop doing stuff like when I was younger, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to lose weight quickly. And so I was actually harming my body instead of helping it.
What would you say causes poor self-care or poor self-love?
That can start in the family. That can start at home. If a little girl grows up and all she heard from her mom and her dad was, "You're ugly, you'll never be anything," that obviously is gonna... Now, some people could turn that around and be like, okay, you said this about me, well, I'm gonna do this. And then they turn out to be wonderful, you know what I'm saying? But most people take that and be like, well, I'm ugly, and be like, well, there's no need in trying to change it, you know what I'm saying? I'm ugly, that's what they put the stamp on me, that's what I'm gonna be. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things, opinions. Hearing it from somebody else, and then now you feel like, wow, somebody noticed something that I didn't, and it's bad, you know what I'm saying? Did anybody else notice that? Am I really fat? Am I really ugly? Am I really too skinny? Am I really this? Am I really that? And then it starts to trickle down. And even if you try to do something about it, stress and worrying about that kind of stuff can affect your body as well. So it's not just going to be those opinions, but how you take that in, you know. So I do believe that it starts with opinion.
I think your environment is a big factor. If you have people around you that are constantly criticizing in negative ways and not really, you know, building you up, I think that can be detrimental to your, you know, image, your self-image and like self-love, because, you know, I don't know, I feel like you have to see love in order to kind of have it for yourself.
I agree to a certain extent, but I think you should feel love and be in a routine of what it is. Like, you can't just be like, okay, love yourself, but never have been shown or felt, you know? Like, it's something that you got to learn from a younger age. And I mean, sometimes it could help in your teenage years to see it if you never felt that, but it could be maybe too late and maybe you don't feel too good about it. But I mean, all things take time.
Yeah.
I feel like they should like promote self-love more instead of like trying to paint you a picture of how you should look.
Like, have more real people on TV or in... Yeah. I wouldn't say magazines, because personally, I don't look at magazines ever. Right.
On the internet, I mean, I don't see much of fixing, because, you know, people only post the good. So as far as muscular or thick and curvy bodies, that's all you really see on the internet. The best thing I would do is just reassure people that people may like what they like, but if you make what you have, if you're confident with what you have, you can make that better than what people like. Does that make sense? People, I found out things that all type of guys wanted to be muscular, big, and there's a whole lot of girls out there who prefer a dad bod.
Did you just say a dead bod?
A dad bod.
Okay.
I mean, there's a dead bod. What?
So that was
it's like a whole bunch of girls out there that prefer a dad bod, or prefer you not to be as big as far as muscular or anything like that. So I would just say, make what you got. If you want to be like that, then work towards that. But just be content with what you have and make it the best that it can be, and don't worry about all that.
I think a lot of things are kind of too far gone. So like social media, like kids have phones and have social media, so you're going to see it regardless. So I think it kind of comes to like being able to educate others, whether like they're your peers or like younger people. So I know, like, I'm about to be a teacher, so like being able to educate my students and tell them like, hey, or if somebody's battling with this self-image, like let's tell them like, hey, like a lot of the things you're seeing aren't really real, and those lives that you're seeing aren't really ideal, and you should just focus on health and like whatever your medical professionals say, and not Instagram influencers.
Definitely, because really social media and television is really just for entertainment.
Yeah,
for the most part. How do you describe self-love?
I'll describe it as waking up every day and being okay with how you look, instead of, well, there's always one thing that a person doesn't like about themselves, but for you to want to change your body to fit to the standards of society, that's not self-love. You have to be able to love yourself unconditionally, regardless of what the world is telling you how you should look.
Right.
Self-love is being okay with the way you are, regardless of what other people think.
Being able to care for yourself in all, I guess, facets, or at least most of them. So like being able to care for yourself spiritually, that's what you want to do, emotionally, like mental health, and anything else, just being able to begin that journey of like self-care is when you love yourself, because you don't have to have everything together, but if you're taking the steps, I think that's like what shows like self-love.
What acts from others make you feel self-conscious?
When the only time I can say that I feel self-conscious is if I'm in a place where I know I'm going to see people that I know from my past, and I know that I look different now than I did when I was like in high school, middle school, like that. So like when I go back home to Covington, like I know I don't always go into all the stores, just because I feel like I may see someone, and like I don't know what they're thinking. They may just be happy to see me, but in my mind I may change it to like, oh, they see like, oh, I gained all this weight and all this stuff. But yeah, that's just, yeah. Self-conscious.
Do you take time out to ensure that you're loving yourself properly?
Probably not, because I try to love myself, but it's like I don't know if I'm
doing it right.
Yeah.
When I was bigger and like I like on campus, I walk by myself, right? So let's say people were behind me and they start laughing out of nowhere. That's gonna make me feel uncomfortable because I'm thinking they're talking about me. Because that's what I used to feel, but now I don't even acknowledge it really no more. But when I was bigger, that made me feel like, oh, what if they talking about me? Or what if they, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I didn't want to approach the situation, because obviously there's times when I'm with my friends and we're laughing and having a good time, and we're not talking about people. It's just the fact that we're having a good time, But that was my own self telling me like, girl, you look ridiculous. They're talking about you. So I jumped to conclusions and made assumptions like people were talking about me. How would you describe your body shape?
A pencil.
How would your family and friends describe your body shape?
Because I've had some people be like, you're like an upside down pear.
What?
But I'm just like, that's not a thing.
Wow. That's different.
That was in my younger years.
That was in the younger years?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But do you think your family or your friends have a bigger, or even strangers have a bigger influence on you and how you carry yourself?
It would probably have to be like a mix between like strangers and family.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that's a question. I never even thought about that. Like, maybe I carry myself a little more confidently.
Okay.
With no, I'd probably carry myself a little more confidently with my family because I know they expect that, and they're pretty confident in like power. Like they're intense. So, but like with my friends, because I feel like they know more deeper things.
Yeah.
About me, I don't have to be as, I guess, hard.
Okay. So you don't have to put like a mask on, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel that. Have you ever considered getting plastic surgery?
Yes.
What would it be for?
So, okay, like I see plastic surgery as cosmetic, you know, I'm learning, and I've kind of learned to like myself. So I like myself. I'm fine. But I would love to have a pretty larger, so this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a tummy tuck in a little lipo, and like maybe like not cut, I guess shape, like I don't know the proper medical terms, like my arms down a little bit, have some stuff transferred to my butt, and not too big, just a little more.
I understand that. How do you think others will respond to that?
Shoot, depending on how I'm looking, you know, everybody should be fine if I look good. But I don't know. I know my mom, I feel like my family would be fine.
Okay.
Because they talk about getting it too.
Okay. So they'll be supportive.
I feel like my friends are gonna be the ones who are like, no, just try doing this, do this. And you're like, no, I'm fine. I'm good on that. Just give it to me now.
If your family were to make fun of you about getting plastic surgery, how would that make you feel?
I'm going to go ahead and assume that the reason I got the plastic surgery was because I already didn't care about what people was going to say. So I would probably be like, ha, but at least I'm happy now or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I would let it get to me. I guess it really depends on what I got done.
That makes sense. Okay. Understanding who you are and how you feel about your outer shell is equally important to how you feel about yourself on the inside. Don't be discouraged by the things that you see in the media. Just remember that you can reach your goals and loving yourself to the highest point. If you're happy with yourself, you don't have to worry about how others see you. That's all we have for DBYT today. I want to thank everybody who tuned this week. Y'all can go follow me on Instagram at either @_Sanah, that's SENIH, or DBYT Productions. If you have any comments, suggestions, topics, or questions, feel free to hit me up on either one of my social media handles. Tune in next week where we'll be talking to two of my good friends about dating in modern times, and you ladies will get to see how men actually think. That's all I have for this week. I'm Taisha, and I promise I won't bite my tongue.